Hello, hello. It's time for Fishing Friends. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny.
I'm Gina.
And this one's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tired. I was late.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We were late because of me.
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
As you can see, I've been having fun getting stuff all decorated for Halloween and stuff.
Oopie spoopy.
Yeah. I was gonna wait until next week to decorate the room more, because that's when it is officially switching over to fall. But I couldn't wait. I was just having fun doing different things with the lights and adding more skulls, and I got a little skeleton dude sitting here and another little skeleton dude sitting right here.
And, nice.
I did a lot outside too, because I took a trip today after I got my hair cut. It's
yeah,
just a little.
There you go.
On the sides.
Got
he
cleaned
didn't
up.
Really touch the top at all, and I kind of did the Jeremy Renner thing where it kind of goes. Left too.
Nice.
But just kind of hope it kind of grow out more evenly and stuff as it gets longer, because you got to get the top to get to the sides and all that stuff at the same time. So I'm trying to get through the awkward stages with the least amount of being awkward. Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't very good wording on that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, especially with going to such an extreme haircut. There are going to be things about it you don't like. So, yeah, you got to kind of let it grow to tinker with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I don't want to end up with a mullet and different stuff and all that too. So, yeah, I love the awkward stages. What's up, Silver Creek Wildlife?
I bet you do, Silver. I bet you do.
Craig's Catfish Cave is here too. So is Joshua Templeton.
Hello, and NFK20. Hello. Nuts for Knives.
And I'm Nuts for Knives. Nuts for Knives 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm not nuts for knives, but I got some knives and stuff.
He did get a cool knife. This last knife, he did get a cool one.
Yeah.
You got it with you?
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
It's got really nice and then the Damascus with the red and black.
Yeah, the Damascus G10. Yep.
And then it's, what is it called? The compound grind on the blade with a really nice blood groove. So
Joshua, anytime somebody else from the knife community comes in, Joshua's like, "Stop talking me," because Joshua's from the knife community that I kind of brought over. So
oh, nice.
He used to work at work at a pet store. So he's very much in the pet. He has experience in the pet trade also. So
very, very cool. Very cool. I feel like that name's been around for a while. So
yeah. I think since the initial shout out I got over on the knife tubes, he's jumped over and been pretty consistent. Him and BEDC usually always pop up. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's always cool to see people from other communities.
Yeah.
Especially because since I haven't really been posting a whole lot of content recently, just been doing more live streaming. My content varies so much right now. I posted a few shorts here and there, still posting some fish stuff, about my baby mollies and stuff.
He managed a huge mom and pop shop in Colorado. That's what it was.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, he actually won a prize on New Local Austin stream the other night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Except he
Mark
doesn't have a running tank.
Carlson.
He didn't have a running tank, so he couldn't win any fish, but I forget what he ended up. I was falling asleep by that point in the night. I don't remember what it was that he chose.
Good to see you, Mark.
Mark Stelson, hello, hello. Good morning. Oh, you are taking the fish. Oh, very nice, very nice.
Okay. Yeah, so I after I got my haircut, I took a trip over to Johnny Brock's dungeon and got some pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna show a video here just a second, just getting everything set up. There we go. So this is what it looks like outside. It's down in the city, so it's industrial old brick building. It's got a whole bunch of skeletons all along the top.
You know what's funny is that when Nathan and I first got our house, we actually talked about decorating our house with skeletons, like in that kind of fashion, like slowly build on our skeleton army each year.
Well, that's what I'm kind of working on with this guy and all that stuff. Just they are kind of expensive,
They are.
I got lucky. This guy he's 5 foot tall and he was like $40 at Walgreens, which was surprisingly cheap for an opposable skeleton. The ones at Johnny Brock's, I think they were a little bit taller, but they were like, like 50 or $60 too, and all that. But the doorway is cool too because it is like a a gate. And yeah, it's pretty much just a massive like spirit Halloween store. But it's just got everything. And that like they keep everything in stock really good, whereas the spirit Halloweens, they just get so much, and then whenever they sell out, they sell out. So I
ended year round.
Yeah, so I got some gravestones and a couple like skeleton arms and stuff to pop out of the ground.
Yeah.
And I got a really big spider web thing with a like spider on top, and I covered my bushes with all the like spider web stuff. See, that's just kind of fun. And then I have this like fence that I put up in front of that area, and you can't really see very well, but there's purple lights going across the top. The same purple lights that I have, back here.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, there's the bushes and then the spider. And I also got this like snake skeleton.
I have one like that. It's in my front room. I actually need to bring that in here. I need to put that in my background. I
really like that. And then so yeah, there's a closer picture of the spider.
Aw, it's so cute.
And then I forgot to take a picture of these during the day, but there's that like right on the walkway into my house. And then I took a picture at night. So I have a projector going on the sides. It's like looking like flames and stuff going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, but Joshua says he does have a tank. Oh, you do have. I was thinking you didn't have a tank set up anymore. Okay. Hagen Hills, hello, hello. Vibes is here. He's about to eat some Domino's pizza. Ugh, I've been wanting takeout the last couple of nights so bad, but money got away from us a little bit. We're not like we don't have no money. It's just lower than what we like it to be, so we're trying not to spend money. And it's like, of course, whenever it's you only want what you can't have, right? So like the last couple nights, I keep looking at Nathan. I'm like, I really want takeout, but I know I should just heat up that pizza that's in the freezer. But I really want takeout. Like we just ran some chores, errands today, and usually we go out to eat whenever we go, go run some errands. And we looked at each other at the last stop, and it's like, we done? I'm like, yes, we're done. Let's go home. Like, yes.
Yeah. I live too far away from people to decorate. Well, yeah. I have a, pretty nice neighborhood for the most part. So I figured I've never decorated for Halloween. I always wanted to. So I finally, did it this year. Got some things. Uh, I think that's pretty much all I'm gonna get this year because spent about $200 or so, a little bit more than $200 on all the stuff that I
That's
got.
not bad. That's
It's
a
not
decent
too
amount.
bad, but it's just like, yeah, I don't want to spend
That's
more than that.
so that's pretty good for before Halloween. Like buying before things go on clearance.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Um, could you get better bargains like right before or right at the end of Halloween? Yes, but it's
Oh,
not
definitely you can
terrible.
get better bargains right after Halloween, but you
Yeah.
have to go there like fast because
Yeah.
everybody's hopping on that stuff real quick.
Mhm.
So
So NFK was talking about what he also likes. He says, "I also really like challenge coins, Legos." And then here he says, "Now don't laugh, but cool rocks and sea glass. I also like cool
I
rocks.
like cool rocks.
It doesn't show up on camera, but it glitters. Oh, there we go. You can see
Yeah,
it there. It
I
glitters.
have a
And my emotional
fishbowl
support
of made
rock
of those rocks, I think,
rocks.
or a similar rock to that. I found them
Any
at
sorry.
Tropic. I found those at Tropical World Pets. It was called like Starry Night Rock or something like that. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, sparkly just like that. And I have
Oh,
a
he
whole
might not even
jar of rocks actually of various mineral stones and stuff.
he might not actually be watching right now, even though I'm acknowledging his comments because he went and jumped on his PS5.
Yeah.
Fine. I see how it is. Um No, sometimes like when I have friends who or coworkers who are like I know that they're gonna go camping one weekend, and I'm like, "Can you find me a cool rock? Like bring me back a cool rock. Nothing like no bigger than like this. Like this is even large. This is not what I would expect. I would
Yeah.
expect like a little pebble. Just bring me
Right.
a cool rock."
Yeah. Yeah. I love it when like one of my nieces or nephews, like when they were like really small, they brought me a cool rock one time, and I still have that. It's like it sits right above, like on my like headboard thing. That's like a little cabinet area, so it sits on there.
Vibes keeps trying to get my PayPal. No, Vibes, you're not gonna buy me pizza. I need to be good. And I may or may not have had a whole bag of Doritos for dinner. like like
Doritos for
like
dinner.
a it started as a snack, and the next thing I know, the bag was empty, and I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah,
So
you could have at least made
yeah,
Dorito nachos.
yeah. What was it? Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's what my coworker was talking about the other day. She was like, "Have you ever made like what?" She described it weird though. She didn't say nachos. She was like, "Have you made?" I think she said tacos, but with Doritos. And my boss, our boss, was like, "You mean like the Doritos Locos Tacos at Taco Bell?" She's like, "Yeah, but like you break it, like if you were to break up the shell." And I'm like, "Nachos?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I guess that would be nachos." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Hello." But yeah,
I
I was
would
like,
do that all the time, like way
only
before that was a thing at Taco Bell. Like sometimes instead of using like normal tortilla chips or something like that, yeah, I'd get like two or three of the small bags of the whatever, the nacho cheese Doritos, or even the Cool Range
I was just
Doritos.
about to say, so she actually recommended using the Cool Ranch, not the nacho
Yeah,
cheese
the
one.
Cool Range ones are better in my
Yeah.
opinion. Um, and yeah, just get a bunch of those, and then some cheese, some taco sauce. You can throw some meat or whatever on there too if you have it or you want it. And yeah, it's some really good stuff. Sour cream, all that jazz. If you want
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff, I'm fairly simple with my nachos. I don't want a bunch of onions and tomatoes and whatever else on there. I just do cheese, meat, sour cream, taco sauce, maybe a like picante style salsa if there's not like taco sauce or whatever, but any sort of like thing like that. I can stand chunky salsa, but I just don't really prefer it.
I really like black olives on my nachos and on my tacos.
I definitely can't do olives. Nope.
I do black olives. See, that's the problem. So Aldi has this like end cap for like charcuterie supplies this time of year. Like the fancier crackers and olives and all that stuff. And they always have stuffed olives, but they're always green olives. And I'm like, dang it if they weren't green olives.
So you don't like green olives?
I
Huh?
don't like green olives. I like black olives.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, so more of my TikTok shops stuff came in. I left my Switch in the living room. I showed it on my other stream, but I got a cover for my Switch. It is definitely just for aesthetics. It is not keeping my Switch safe at all. Like, in fact, the way it clips together, like, it barely pops together. Like, if I were to drop my Switch right now, that case would just not like break as in like broken, but like it will fall apart like a grenade. Like it will just burst all over the place.
Wow.
And then I got my Miyoki cup. It's actually metal. But it's metallic, so it does show my fingerprints because I got greasy hands. But yeah, it kept my ice. So I put ice in here this morning. Got to work at 8 a.m. this morning. At lunchtime, I went to refill this, and it still had the ice in it. And that ice was able to keep that water cold until I got home at 5. Like, I love this thing now. I have
Nice.
cold water all day now.
Yeah, that's why I love this thing. It keeps cold stuff cold for like 20 hours, and it keeps hot stuff hot for at least 5, if not like 6, like more. I don't feel like it does quite as well as it used to when I first bought it, but I mean, it is what it is.
Green olives on a burger with cream cheese.
Yeah, I highlighted that because I
would
wouldn't
actually
do it with
try
the
that.
green olives because I just don't like green olives. But that reminded me of something I did one time when I was in high school. One of my friends would always make it was the best dip ever, and it was just super simple because all it was cream cheese, and he would take like pickled jalapenos and chop those up real fine and maybe add just a tiny bit of the juice to it and just mix it up really good. Fresh, it was like really really good, but actually if you like put it in the fridge and let it sit for a week or something like that, like the cream cheese would just like really like soak up all the flavor of like the jalapenos and stuff, and it would just be so good.
So it's like essentially jalapeno popper dip.
Right. But
Yeah.
it's just cream cheese and jalapenos. But man, you would put that on a burger. Oh, so good.
I feel like you would
And
have to put bacon bits on top.
yeah, if you would add bacon bits, it'd be even better too. You could add like some bacon to your dip if you wanted to. Like, yeah. But man, I'm just telling you, like, if you guys haven't tried it and you like, spicy food, like, just it's so simple and it's so good. Just jalapenos and cream cheese.
Yeah.
And you can dip anything in it.
Jeff Kane, hello. But no, I would try that green olives and cream cheese on a burger. I would try it at least once. BEDC, hello.
I just can't do olives.
See, I feel like the cream cheese might cut it enough to where it'd be tolerable.
Maybe, but I just don't
just
like
a few. Like just a few.
I just don't like olives at all. Like, I love Bloody Marys, but some places they put olive juice in there. And so like, but not every place does. But it wasn't actually, I ordered Bloody Marys so long and it never happened. And then like I went to like, I don't know, just like some like little small hole in the wall bar and ordered a Bloody Mary. And yeah, they for sure put like olive juice in there. And it was just like, oh, it was the worst Bloody Mary I ever had. And so from then on, anytime I order a Bloody Mary, I always make sure to say like no olive juice.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just gross.
Hagen Hill says that's a big gulp. Yeah, it's 40 ounces. So lasts me a long time. I still don't drink enough water though. Because
See, I would
this
fill
is
that with
now.
coffee.
I haven't yet, just because I haven't gotten up in time. I had to open the last 2 days, and I am not a morning person, so I didn't get up in time to make coffee.
This is 28 ounces, I believe.
Yeah. How big is an actual big gulp, like an official big gulp? I feel like it's more than 40 ounces. Isn't it like
Well,
60?
one is a 32 ounce,
Okay.
and then there's like a 44 ounce.
Okay, so maybe it is about that same size. My bad. I never go to the gas station and get fountain. I always forget that that's a thing, that gas stations have fountain sodas, which are cheaper than the bottled soda. Like, and you get more. So like road trips and stuff, I always forget, and I always just get bottled soda.
That just sounds awful. That's why
What?
I've never ordered a green olive juice and vodka with a martini. That's why I've never ordered a martini. That just sounds
Yeah.
awful.
That's a dirty martini, right? Where it has the olive juice. Isn't that
Well,
what they mean whenever they call it a dirty martini?
I think I don't know. I don't know what that means at all. What does dirty martini mean? A dirty martini is a martini that contains olive brine, which gives it a salty, savory taste and a hint
Yeah.
of umami. Yeah.
I was
The
right. Oh
term
my god.
dirty refers to the olive brine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it makes it cloudy. Like, it makes it look dirty.
Yeah.
And Joshua says, "Yep. Yeah. I remember." Wonder if you can have how a martini with pickle juice in it would taste. That would probably be good. A pickle martini.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say 36
36.
ounces, but I see 360Z.
360 ounces.
Because I've always liked the Nissan Z series cars.
Oh, you're about to talk cars. Blech.
I'm not going to talk cars long, but I've always liked the Z series. I don't think I've never been able to afford one, so I've never gotten one. And I would never want to get like a really old used one because like I just don't like to buy like super old used cars. But the new one that has come out, which is just the Nissan Z, like that one looks so sweet. If you guys haven't seen it, it looks really cool. But apparently, it's also like the only turbocharged 6-cylinder car that's still available. They make like turbocharged 4 cylinders, and you can spend a lot of money and get like a supercharged 8-cylinder or something like that. But yeah, apparently no other car other than the Nissan Z is a turbocharged 6-cylinder anymore. So I find that interesting, and it would be really cool to have one.
I put it in chat, but I'll go ahead and say it now that you're at a break. But yeah, I forgot to turn off live reactions on my sides. I fixed it though. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, they also at least in mine, it seems like they automatically turn off the live chat replay as well.
Yeah, sometimes it does it for me. Like, I always double check it because sometimes it happens randomly, because like, so the last 3 times I've streamed, it's been on. But yeah, sometimes it'll just be turned off, and I'm like, why?
Mine's like always turned off.
Hmm.
It has the live chat checked, and it has anybody can chat, and it has live chat replay checked. And so I have to check the live chat replay. I have to put on subscriber mode, and then I have to uncheck the live reactions because those are stupid. It's really,
who was it?
I mean, I guess they're not necessarily that stupid because I mean, it's like for the YouTube thing or whatever. So, oh yeah, I like that. That's fine. Thank you. but it does, like, at least on when you're on your phone, the little symbol like blocks like part of the most recent comment, and that's super annoying. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it like cuts off the last like 3 or 4 letters of that line. So, yeah.
yeah,
So if the comment is 2 lines, then that lower line it'll like cut off. Yeah, it's really
yeah.
dumb. Oh, I've seen this on TikTok, and it apparently all Americans are like losing their mind over it about how the English, I think. I don't know if it's all of the UK. Hagen Hills, where are you from? Let's sound off on this. And Aussie boys, since your country is of British influence in the past, also like America. I want to know if the Aussie people do it too. It's the way they wash their dishes. So not with a dishwasher, like hand washing, not hand washing dishes. So apparently, at least in England that I've seen so far on TikTok, the English they have a basin, and at first when Americans started freaking out about how they do it, they thought it was because they use a basin in their sink, like a tub, not just the sink. It's like no, that's not what it is. They'll wash their dishes in the dishwasher, right? And then they put it directly onto the drying rack. They don't rinse the soap off their dishes.
The
Instead,
English?
yeah, yeah, it's just dirty dishwasher, drying rack, and like soap all over it, and it's like dripping off into the little drying tray. It's wash, like rack, wash, rack. No rinsing, and everyone's
No
losing their
rinsing at
mind.
all?
No rinsing at all.
Because I mean, like, what I've seen people do, and like what I did when I worked at Jack in the Box, like we had the big old like sink just full
Hmm.
of the soapy water, and we do that. We'd scrub everything, and then we put them in like the drying rack without rinsing first. But then after that, we had like a big hose,
A
and we
sprayer,
would
and you
rinse
spray it.
everything down.
No, no, in the drying rack with soap bubbles that you can see still on the dishes that is like dripping off, and then they dry it and put them away with the soap still on it. Yeah, yeah. Americans are losing their goddamn mind. Like
I
it's
feel like sometimes
hilarious.
restaurants do that because I've seen like
Soap
strange
scum and stuff.
watermarks and stuff
Hmm.
like on my silverware and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's not right.
yeah. I know. Everyone's like, "Do you not taste the soap like on your forks and spoons and stuff? Like what? What? Like
Like, I mean, this may sound gross or whatever, but I don't ever like my coffee cup that I like put the coffee in like every single day. I like never actually wash it at all. Sometimes if stuff builds up too much or whatever, I'll use some hot water and like really scrub it down. But
yeah."
I don't ever use soap in my coffee mug
So
because
that's
I don't
actually
want to
really common.
taste
Yeah.
soap
Yeah.
ever.
So that's a lot more common than you think. Do you drink black coffee?
No.
Oh, okay.
Um
I find a lot of people who drink black
But
coffee will do that.
yeah, I don't use dairy creamer. The Coffee Mate is like a non-dairy creamer, so it doesn't like uh cause stuff to like build up really bad or whatever. Like I know like if you let like milk sit out, like it's gonna like that's gonna go real bad.
In the UK or US is because is a great way to get dysentery. So yeah, in the UK is where they don't rinse their dishes. So wash
They just use a big old soapy basin and then they just leave all the soap on their plate
and then
and as
put
it
it on.
dries.
Yeah.
Coffee Mate is a non-edible creamer. Whatever.
No, I have to wash my cup in between because I add sugar and dairy like cream and stuff. Um and also it just I don't know. Sometimes I mix up my flavors though. So I feel like that'll kind of like the not residue, but like I
Yeah.
think the flavor stays on the cup and it's going to contaminate the next drink.
Yeah.
Um
I've been drinking coffee for 33 years now. I'm almost 35, so let that sink in. I've been drinking coffee since I was like 2 years old, like literally. And so I first started drinking it black. It was like decaf black coffee that I started drinking at first. It was me, and we had this like 3-car garage with a little apartment above it, and my dad was letting a gentleman from um, I can not remember. I can never remember what country he's from. Um, it's not Vietnam, but maybe it was like, gosh, I can never remember where he was from, but his name was Savat, and he was a really really cool guy. In fact, I think he actually worked for my dad in his pharmacy at one point. But me and him would sit at the end of the driveway and drink coffee together. That's how I kind of started drinking coffee when I was 2 years old. And so, anyway, long story short, I've tried lots of different coffee creamers over my years as I moved off of black coffee. And like some of them are okay, but I've never found one that's as good as Coffee Mate, no matter what flavor I pick. And I understand that, yeah, it's terribly artificial, and it's probably the worst thing that I consume on a daily basis. But I've tried so many different ones, and most of the ones that you find out there are they're gross. I can't do it.
They don't have
Like
enough fake in it.
well, some of them, the ones that are more real, are better. They're good, but it's like those are really really expensive.
Yeah.
And the other ones, like what is it, like International Delight, or the other most common one, that one, whatever like artificial sweetener or whatever they use, that it just like I can't stand that sweetener. It's just
Yeah.
gross. It's like almost like it's like almost a bitter sour or something that I just don't like it. So yeah, if I can't remember if it's the powder or the liquid, but one of them is bad. Probably the powder is the best form, I would think. But either way, I use the liquid, and uh, I don't care.
Well, so back to not washing the cup. So those Italian like mocha pots, like the short I made of me making my coffee in that little space looking, Steven calls it like the space coffee machine. But the little mocha pot. Apparently in Italia, in
In
Italy,
Italia,
yeah, in Italy, like you don't wash it. Like it's something that you use, and they believe it gets like seasoned, and that if you wash
right,
it, then your coffee is going to taste like soap. Like it's going to hold on to that soap taste, and it's going to transfer to your coffee.
right. It's like it's the same thing as like your cast iron skillet.
Like you
You,
rinse it, but you don't wash it.
you don't put your cast iron skillet in the dishwasher.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, I mean, there's certain things that you just don't do. But yeah, what's interesting is that's how the Vikings and stuff back in the day would make mead. Is they had the one stick. It was like the magic stick that would just collect all the yeast and stuff from the previous meads that they made, and they would use that stick to stir like all the different meads. And they didn't understand the science behind it, but they just knew that that was their magic mead stick, and it would make the mead ferment and turn into actual alcohol. So it was
So
really interesting.
here's another European. You kind of missed the conversation, but make him. He's in Sweden, right?
Yes.
Make him. Do you guys rinse your dishes when you hand wash dishes, or do you just wash, and then straight to the drying rack. Like, none of the Aussies chimed in on it. Nobody else chimed in on it.
Yeah, I don't think they're wanting to admit that they're gross.
I just have questions. I won't shame you. I promise. I won't shame you. I just have questions. Mostly is, doesn't it taste like soap? Like, don't you taste it? Okay, no. Okay, Mick him. He says that they rinse with warm water. Okay, apparently, the English don't. Apparently, those weirdos in England just wash and then with soap suds put it on the drying rack. Hello, Miko.
Lady Rorschach. We got
Lady
Shady
Rorschach.
Grady here. Lots of people have been jumping in. Empire Dirts Aquatics. Good to see you, Jeff K. Never actually said hi to Geek Boy.
Oh yeah, I didn't either. Hi, Geek Boy. Ugh. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go.
I rinse with ripping hot water.
Yeah, because that sanitizes them.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the times, like, I'm just a single dude. Like, I don't really like to do dishes. So most of the time, it's like I just have, like, my one plate, you know? And I make my food on it. And then I immediately, like, just rinse it off with hot water. If it starts to get, like, you know, if it has anything, like, that builds up on it that I can't, like, get off with just hot water or whatever, then, yeah, I'll use some soap and I'll actually scrub in some stuff. But most of the time, like, yeah, I just, same with, like, my coffee, whatever. I just have my plate, my bowl, my one set of silverware, and I keep it clean, at least mostly clean enough to, you know, eat my food on a daily basis.
Lady Rorschach has many Aussies too. Oh my God, Cosmo and Ruthie. Oh,
so
Lady Rorschach, I need pictures for scientific reasons. I need pictures.
Yeah,
Send me on Discord.
So, speaking of dogs,
did you get a dog?
No.
Oh.
But when I was at my family reunion last Sunday, my brother-in-law, we were just sitting and chilling and eating and talking and stuff. It was great. Oh, food was awesome. You know, it's good to see all my family and, you know, kind of get all the different announcements from all the different sides of the, you know, the grandparents and uncles and great uncles and stuff. But my brother-in-law was talking to me, my oldest brother-in-law, Andy, my sister Sarah's, that has like the big homestead. My sister, oldest sister Sarah, and Andy and her 4 kids live in the house that I grew up in, and they turned it into a whole like homestead with like 20 to 30 chickens, and they have like 4 or 5 turkeys now, and the neighbors next to them have goats, and just my sisters just turned it into this awesome homestead. And you know, I was even telling my buddy today that cut my hair how I'm really happy that I got some awesome brothers-in-law that allow my sisters to be able to, you know, stay home and, you know, take care of the kids and, you know, experiment with cooking and all that different stuff and farm and raise animals and whatever else. But anyway, my brother-in-law was at a like homesteading convention with my sister over the weekend prior, and they had like pretty much just gotten back in town like right before the family reunion and stuff. And there was somebody there at the homesteading convention thing that they had like a business or a side job or something that they do where they find dogs for veterans, and like it doesn't cost a veteran anything, but you like fill out an application and kind of tell them what you're looking for, and then they go out and they find certain dogs that, fit your criteria, and they help you find a dog. And I guess, pay for all the adoption fees and whatever else it would be. So, I've said several times how it's like I would love to get a dog, but I just don't have the time to raise a puppy or anything like that. Um, he went ahead and like grabbed me an application. I haven't gone and grabbed it from them yet because he forgot to bring it to the family reunion for me. But I'm thinking about doing it and filling it out, and getting a dog that's already a couple years old and relatively trained, has a you know calm, friendly demeanor, and about medium size.
A snuggle
Like,
buddy. You just want a snuggle buddy.
yeah, that's an awesome sir. I would look into finding an adult dog. Yeah, exactly. Question for both you. Do either of you know of a good reptile rescue that will ship animals? Long story short, I lost a baby corn snake and I'm looking for another. I do not know of any sort of reptile shelter.
I don't.
I would maybe I would Google. There's a place, I believe it's in Illinois, that is called the tie dye iguana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're kind of like a family owned but super awesome like reptile store. So maybe they might have some sort of information for you. But then again, I don't know, they might want to sell you something too. But yeah, I don't know. Just you could always also Google it, instead of googling the tie dye iguana to call them. Just Google some shelters. But I don't know of any. I've
Yeah, I
always
don't
kind of
either.
wondered like what happens if you have like you know a big python or something like that has like something going on. Like what do you do with it? Do you take it to the zoo? Do you? I don't know.
Oh, she says all my local rescues do not have corn snakes. Well, check in a couple of weeks, maybe even in a month or so, because right now Petco's having their reptile rally. So there may be families around you that bought a snake for half off, bought a corn snake for half off, and then about a month or so decided they don't want it anymore. So,
Oh, Joshua Templeton looks like he might be able to help you find a snake. Maybe.
yeah.
I think stress of transit, considering she already was struggling to eat in the
Yeah.
rescue, so it was a gamble. Yeah. Kaler's local rescue had some awesome dogs who needs to be rescued 2 weeks ago or so. If you're searching for an adult dog in Cleveland area, I believe. Yeah. Well, if it's in Cleveland, Ohio,
Yeah.
we don't know how long those dogs are going to be around. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, the meme. Yeah. Good point. I'll certainly keep an eye out. Yeah, that's how it always is. Like a month, unfortunately, after like a month, somebody buys an animal. We're usually getting calls, even at Petco, like, "Hey, I don't want it anymore," and I'm like, "Well, it's past the 30 days. Sorry." And that's also not what that 30-day guarantee is for.
Mike asks, "What's the coolest new fish you've seen this year?" Well, you asked for new fish.
Yeah. So,
I
what constitutes new? New to the hobby, or just new to you?
well, I think I have something that's both
Oh,
new to the hobby and new to me, and I was really surprised when I saw it. And now I know there's a big like controversy about the way people feel about glowfish, but
is it the
recently,
angels?
recently in Pet Supplies Plus, I saw some glow angels,
Yeah.
and they were pretty cool.
Yeah, we got them. We got them in at Petco. They are really cool. Well, let me
They
pull up
had
the picture.
they had like the pink red ones or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have all the colors available yet or not,
No.
but
At least Petco only has the red ones. Yeah,
okay.
I sent Zenny a photo because she loves glowfish.
Yep. And I've seen like the green glow cories. I know, and those are already coming out in like orange and stuff too. But yeah, like look at that.
Yeah, so these were some bigger ones that we got because these are like our bigger angels that we order, and then these are like the discus that we order. So this was a bigger batch, so we put them in with the discus.
Yeah.
But they're usually more like nickel to quarter size. These were like more than $half
Yeah.
size.
Like, see, I know some people just don't like glowfish, but man, look at that! Look at those bright pink fish right there in the plated aquarium. Like, you don't have to put them in like a stupid glow tank with all the neon crap and a black light
Funny?
or a blue light. Like, just put them in a planted tank and they just stand out and just look awesome.
So what's funny is that we actually have to put them with the glow Priscilla tetras because they blend in too much with the skirt tetras, the red skirt tetras,
Yeah.
the red glow
You don't
skirt
want to
tetras.
accidentally sell a 30 or what was it? No, they're like
they're up there.
they
They're like
30?
$40. I don't remember, but yeah, they're a lot more.
You don't want to accidentally sell a $40 fish for,
Yep.
$8.
Well, I think they're like 12 or 10 and 13. 10 for the regular, 13 for the long fin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the not the skirt tetras, but I like the glow Pristella tetras. Those are looking really cool.
Those
I
do
feel
look
like
cool.
I feel like the neon coloration is much more vibrant on those than the skirt tetras, and then you have like the red stripe kind of going down the body. That's like their normal color as well, and so like on the green ones and stuff, you kind of get this like Christmas looking, like green and red. And how much is the pink glow angel? Well, yeah, I can't remember, but they're pretty darn expensive. It was like it might have been $40 each.
Let me see if they're listed on Petco's website. Whoops. Stupid pop-ups. Stop. Whoop. Okay. Regular angels. Danios. Oh, there we go. They're okay. The pricing on the website doesn't reflect what that actually is in the store. The in-store price is higher because they have to include like shipping and everything. So I think they're 30. I could text somebody from my store really quick. There's 10 minutes until they close, but I'm not going to do that to them.
What? To just be like, hey, how much is the
Hey, how much are the glow angels again? What is today? Saturday? That would be Andrew. Oh, actually, he might know off the top of his head. All right, let me text him. Let me phone a friend. When was the last time I texted Andrew? Apparently, it's been a while.
I like the neon yellow. Yes, I always liked the glow Danios too, and stuff like. I like the glow tiger barbs as well, especially now that they have like red ones and purple ones and stuff. And I like the glow sharks because I've always liked rainbow sharks, and the black and red looks great. The albino and the red looks great. But you know what also looks great? Blue and red, and purple and red, and orange and red, and green.
They're 30.
Red.
Yep, they're 30.
Okay.
Yeah, I always liked the glow Danios too. And then whenever I was actually ready to like set up like a glowfish tank, Petco stopped carrying the Danios. But I think we got them back now. We have them at my store, but I haven't seen them at other stores. So maybe it's just because we're Magnet we can get them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the glow Danios.
See, I've been communicating with Fishy Biz a little bit about, getting this 55 gallon that's over here. I think after he gets that and I kind of rearrange the room a little bit, I might rescape this 55 gallon and maybe turn it into a glow tank, but not actually like put like a glow light on there, but just have like all glow fish. Like maybe do a couple of the angels, have some of the Pristella tetras, some of the Danios, put some Corys on the bottom, and then have like one of the rainbow sharks in there too, and just have a whole tank of glowfish. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
So I don't know if you went over Lady Rorschach's comment, but yeah, she said people are so irresponsible going into acquiring a pet. I've been researching reptile husbandry since 2016 before diving in. It is so common. So common. And yeah, it's crazy how people just come in and they'll come in asking about one animal and then they're disappointed because you're telling them things they don't want to hear about how to take care of it. And they're like, okay, well, what about this? And they'll jump to like a completely different, like, say they're asking about guinea pigs and they're like, okay, well, what about a lizard? Lizards have to be easier, right? No, not at all.
No.
Okay,
caring
well, what
for
about
a
a fish?
mammal is caring for any sort of mammal is like way easier
Yeah.
than like anything else.
What? You mean I have to clean their cage once a week? Oh, that's too much. How about a reptile? And I was like, okay.
I mean, if you set up the tank right, you don't have to really clean the
Yeah, but
tank.
that costs money slash time. They can't just set
Exactly.
it all up right then and there.
Right.
Yeah, not
That's
with
that's a
upfront
big
costs.
thing.
Yep.
But if well here we got that. Let's go ahead and remove that. um this tank right here, I mean, every so often, yeah, I'll clean off like the front glass and stuff because that gets a little cloudy and gets, poop and stuff on it, as you can see right now. But I mean, for the most part, like it's full of springtails and all different sorts of things, isopods. Um, it's got running water in there. Like I set it up so that I don't have to do anything on it.
Lady Rorschach sent me
Eventually,
the Lady Rorschach sent me.
the sponge that is like blocking the filter and stuff. Eventually, the sponge and the pump will get so much stuff built on it at some point that they'll just go out, and I'll have to basically take the whole thing apart to fix it. But that's just to get the water running. I don't ever have the waterfall going. It can just have, other sorts of water sources. I could install a mister in there or, a smoke machine, something like that. And whatever else. But for the most part, I don't have to do anything to it.
Lady Rorschach, can I show the photos? Can she sent me the photos of her doggies? Can I show them? Or are they just for me? I don't want to share them if you're not okay with it. Um.
The
Oh, and it.
bioactive setups, I'm so glad that um, I'm seeing stuff for that at like Pet Supplies Plus and
Yeah.
Petco and all that stuff. Because when I was working there, that was one of my main complaints is that I was so active in planted aquariums and bioactive this and whatever else. And I'm trying to steer people in that direction as well, while at the same time not having anything related to that in my store.
Yeah.
So it was like,
She said I can.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm so glad we're starting to see that stuff. We're seeing the little clay pellets. we're seeing, springtail and isopod cultures. They have all the different botanicals and stuff now.
Puppy!
Look at the puppies.
Puppy! Puppy!
Oh my goodness.
So she said one of them is a little bit more of a midi than a mini, so it's a little bit larger. That's actually how Miko's dad is. He's like in between a mini and a standard Aussie. He's huge. Oh, that's such a good photo. And has kind of more this coloring, except I think he's got less white on his chest. But his name's Bam Bam, and his mom's name is Pebbles.
I love tissue culture plants too.
So cute.
I need your advice on vertical enclosures. I have an exoterra that I would love to put a crescent gecko in. Well, what sort of advice do you need on vertical enclosures? If you want to know how I set mine up, you can watch the video on it. Let me find it on my channel real quick. I know I got some mods in there, but I might be faster than my mods on finding this video. Here we go.
Yeah, so it's yeah, exactly. It's a clone. Yeah. The guy with the freckles is Cosmo. He's the midi. Oh, nice. Yeah. So Miko more takes after his mom. Which is funny because all of his other siblings, so all the other puppies that Pebbles and Bam Bam have had together have all been larger, like more of Bam Bam size. I think Miko's the only one who actually ended up being small, like his mom. They're all also really fat. Nathan's dad and stepmom overfeed their dogs.
I just realized when I went over to your channel to share the link that, yeah, you did pick the wrong thumbnail.
Yeah, I sure did. I don't think I have
the one from Winter.
Oh, I don't think I ever saved the current one on my computer because I always just set it up on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Let me go back in our Discord and get the right one and download it. Oh yeah. Okay. Whoopsie.
But yeah, if you watch that video that I shared on both of our streams, it shows you how I built this. It started with like the clay pebbles and stuff. Well, I started at first by building the general shape of like all the like map, like the landscape and stuff by using like foam board and like spray foam and like lava rock and a bunch of other stuff too. You can watch the whole building process on how I did it. You don't have to build like an actual like waterfall with like a stream and everything like I did, but just the idea of using the spray foam to kind of get the general shape of things and then adding stuff to that. It's it's a very smart idea because I got that from like Serpa Design and all that stuff too, because if you're actually gonna stack up a whole bunch of rocks or whatever that high, like it's gonna be like really heavy, and you're gonna have to use like a lot of glue and a lot of other stuff too to get like the rocks up there. Whereas you can just kind of block it out with foam and stuff to get the general shape, and then you add stuff to it with other rocks and things. Mainly how to set up a mister, how to lock in humidity, and maybe install the waterfall feature. Well, those two, the first two, I have no idea.
I think literally it's trial and error.
I've never set up a mister. I don't have a mister in there. Every so often, I just open up the front and I have a one of those, like, it's a mister that I bought. It's here. Let me just scoop that.
So I had
it's one of those
yard
sprayers.
That's literally what we use at work.
This is
At
yeah,
my
this is
store.
what we used at Pet Supplies Plus and all that. So I bought one because it's great, and
Yep.
you can just I just use that all the time, and then having the waterfall in there and stuff, it kind of maintains a decent humidity, and I have it here in my fish room, which helps maintain humidity and all that. But I honestly I don't have I'm keeping a golden gecko, which is similar to like a crested gecko. They're technically like subtropical. They don't necessarily need like a heat lamp or anything like that. You can keep them in like a room temperature room as long as you're not getting like into the low 60s or whatever. But yeah, especially if you're keeping it in your fish room, it's perfect. Your
Yeah.
fish room kind of maintains a warmer temperature if you have one. If you don't have a fish room, then that is what it is. But this guy's pretty easy to take care of. He's not like a chameleon or some of those other more demanding reptiles. So he just
See,
pretty much I just keep him the same as the room, pretty much.
where's Geek? Where's Geek and Matt? See, I did not block all things fish. See,
And
he's chatting now. Sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And I just kind of focus on maintaining the plants. So like if the plants, a lot of the plants actually have roots that get down into the water, so I don't have to water some of them. But like the moss that's everywhere that doesn't necessarily get into some of the drip features and stuff everywhere. And sometimes I just like to give the plants some water from the top as well. So I just kind of think about the plants versus more thinking about the gecko that's in there. And so maintaining the subtropical plants and therefore gives the right sort of environment for these subtropical reptile as well. It's just kind of it's the same thing as like keeping a fish tank, If you focus on like growing the plants really well, your fish and everything will just kind of all be happy and the tank will, everything will work out.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like over fertilize. But that'll kill your plants too, so.
I got mine from Aquatic Arts, 100% survival. Like Aquatic Arts. No, Art of Aquaria is what I'm thinking. I was about to be like, Mike, are you in St. Louis? Art of Aquaria is our store, not Aquatic Arts. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Hello, all things fish, by the way.
All things fish. I believe he has an auction going on tomorrow.
Ooh.
On his channel. When I first saw it, I saw auction. I'm like, oh crap! Is there already another FishFam auction going on with a Skipper? And we're gonna have a delayed stream again. And but no, it was on Mike's channel, and it's tomorrow. But it's oh, not an auction. You're just talking about Tom's auction. Oh. Okay, so it's a live stream about talking about the auctions, not the action. Okay. Never mind. I'll shut up now.
Whoopsie.
Thanks so much for all your feedback. I'm feeling much more comfortable setting one up now. Yeah. Just set up a cool environment that looks really cool with all the plants and stuff. And your crested gecko will be happy.
Yeah.
Especially with like a
go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, if you're looking for like plant suggestions and stuff too, Pothos works great to get some viney stuff. If you want a plant that is like pretty good, that has like some structure that the gecko would want to like sit on to like camouflage himself, the snake plants work really good because they grow like vertical and they're pretty strong to where the gecko can actually, get on the side of one of the leaves without having the whole thing like fall over. So that's one suggestion. But just have fun with it. Get a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, try not to have too much open space because then the crusty won't feel safe and you'll never see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't cram it with plants though, but like, yeah. Yeah.
If you do have like open space, fill it with a moss or, some rocks, some twigs, some leaves. Put plenty of, plant matter and stuff in there for both live and dead plant matter for like your isopods and other stuff like that. You want the same as like a father fish aquarium. You want all stages of the food web in your bioactive enclosure, because everything needs its food source. The isopods need to eat the dying stuff, and so that they can turn that into fertilizer, and then their poop and stuff goes into the dirt and adds more fertilizer, so that you don't have to add any artificial stuff into there or fertilizers in with your plants. All the other stuff just kind of does it for you. Same with the springtails and stuff. They eat the poop and the pee and the dying plants and all that other decaying matter and the molds and all that stuff, and turn it into stuff that the plants can use. And then the plants continue to grow. Parts of them die. You just trim it off. You can pull it out if you want to for aesthetic purposes, or you can just leave it in there and let it just kind of rot in its place and do its thing, because it'll all just become part of the circle of life. Your food web in your enclosure. Yeah, Skipper holds auctions like I think quarterly or something like that. And then sometimes he owns special ones too.
Froggies! All Things Fish was talking about setting up a front opening 40 breeder, and he was thinking about mantellas.
Huh. Mantellas, what are those? Oh.
Yeah.
The golden ones, or like what are the other ones? Those are those is that a type of poison dart frog, or is it not actually they just look like that? Anyway, they're cool. These guys, they're so cute. For those of you that don't know, which I'm not sure how much of a common knowledge it is, you can keep poison dart frogs at home, and they're not actually like toxic or anything like that. You can technically handle them if you want to, even though I don't recommend ever handling them just because they're small and fragile. But it's actually their food source, the certain type of ants that they eat in the wild, that actually causes the toxicity on their skin. So poison dart frogs are an awesome option. There's so many different options of cool pets you can have.
Yeah, Joshua says depending on how many you have, they might get lost in a 40 breeder. So we prefer to have our dart frogs in a whole drawer. So those reptile habitats at Petco, like we like to have a whole drawer just full of moss, full of plants, and just have like 20 of them in there, and it's great. We'll have the blues, the greens, the yellows. Oh, they're so freaking cute.
You guys have all that at your cool Petco out there?
Yeah, huh?
Oh man, I still need to take a trip out to that Petco.
I think right now they're in a single because we stocked up on reptiles for the reptile rally. Dart frogs are classy. Yep. You just have to make sure you have those flightless fruit flies, because tiny frogs need tiny food.
I kept reed frogs in a paludarium I built a while ago. Noisy
Noisy.
bastard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the thing you do have to remember if you're thinking about keeping frogs. Tree frogs, dart frogs,
Even Pac-Mans,
peepers, Pac-Man frogs, and all the frogs make noise.
Mostly the males, but yeah.
The males for real, the females not so much, yeah. But the males, like, they make noise. It's their mating call. They're trying to attract anybody and everybody, and so keep them in a room that you can close off away from your bedroom so that you can sleep at night.
My old Pac-Man frog was female because she never croaked. But I remember at the
She only
Petco that I used
croaked
to work
once.
at. Right. You're right.
But
rest in peace, Colonel Mustard. But actually, I think she's still in my freezer. I have yet to bury her. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off track. You're spinning my brain in a spiral. Oh, I was at the local store next to our house when I was still working there. I remember I think I was opening, and I was like getting all the salads sorted on the cart, like which one goes where, and then all of a sudden I heard it, and I started looking around. I'm like, that was not a cricket, because crickets are all over the store and they're constantly chirping. It's just background noise at this point. But I just heard it, and I was like, that sounded weird. That was not a cricket. What was that? And I heard it again. And I'm like trying to follow it, and I realized it's the Pac-Man frog. It just hit maturity. It was like this big. It just hit maturity and it was a male, and it was starting to croak. And I was like, oh my god, it's so freaking cute.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's really cute, when you're at the store and you can,
Get away from it.
close up and get away from it at night and go home and sleep without having to worry about it. But yeah.
Starry Night reed frogs I heard were loud as crap all night long. Yep.
Yeah. And I thought about it. It's like, because I had, I was trying to raise the tree frog tadpoles and stuff like that. And as I was doing that, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, like, these tree frogs are outside and they're loud as hell. Mm-hmm. Like, even having one in, like, this room, my bedroom is right behind, like, it would be loud as hell.
Yeah. When we had I've told the story a million times, but yeah, when we had the pool, before we tore the pool down in the backyard, we never set it up. It never was set up as a proper swimming pool the whole time we've lived in the house. So it just became a big spawn point for tree frogs. So yeah, we had to like close the windows, like even on nice nights, like we couldn't have the windows open because you could not hear the TV at full blast because they're right outside the window screaming.
Yep.
Newts, yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, see, I got a ton of tree frogs around here because of my ponds and stuff like that. And then my little kiddie pool that's a breeding basin for tree frogs and stuff. And, I got those bullfrog tadpoles. I haven't seen them in a while. So I don't know if they made it or not. All the goldfish are doing fine. But yeah, the bullfrogs, they're almost like the same color as the substrate and everything. So even if they were like freaking this big now or something like that, I probably wouldn't be able to see them.
Yeah.
So
and they're gonna start. What it is. They're gonna start getting ready for fall.
Vernation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. That's if they made it through or not. So I don't know. But I've also thought about like it'd be cool to get like spring peepers or something like that. But then it's like, man, that would also be like really loud.
Yeah. Yep. Ever since um oh my god. Is it Jesse from the Aquatic Morning Show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since she talked about getting milk frogs, they've just been lingering in a tiny corner of my brain. I just like they're so freaking cute. That teal blue, they're so freaking cute.
Yeah.
It just tickles my brain a little bit. Not really a forethought. Like I don't see myself actually getting them, but they're there. They're cute.
I think after he eventually croaks or whatever, I might get a white dumpy tree frog.
Oh, those are cool. Oh yeah, the Vietnamese mossy frogs. Those are cool too. Where did I see those at? Was that at the aquarium in Atlanta? Hold on.
Wow.
Oh.
It's crazy. I didn't even have to say it. Just you saying it and pulling that up, I just Googled like VIE and Vietnamese mossy frog popped up. Like it knew.
It knew.
Freaking Google, I hate this.
Yes, here it is. Hold on, I got it. These guys? You see one here, and you see one here. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Is that what those are? I think that's what those are.
Yep. That is what those are.
They're so pretty.
I was just gonna share Google images of one.
I have real photos. Not that those aren't real photos. You know what I mean.
Is your photo as cute as this?
Probably not.
Look at that.
No, definitely
Look
not.
at
That is adorable. But yeah, that was at the Atlanta Aquarium in Georgia.
Yeah, I want to get a dumpy tree frog because these guys are one of the largest tree frogs, and they're not as fragile as other tree frogs as well. To where, the recommendations about handling these guys, they're not as strict. People say you can actually handle them and all that. And there's this guy that uses certain camera angles to make his frog look huge, and he's on YouTube and all that stuff.
Bird poop frogs are cute.
Bird poop frogs?
Yeah. I was skeptical too. I was like, is he just making us Google weird things?
Sure,
like
that
triggering
one.
things? Alright, hold on. Present, share screen. Bonk. Look how cute they are.
Oh my goodness.
They're speckled like bird poop.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So freaking cute. Look at that face. Look at that face. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my god.
That's nuts.
Oh, look at this puffy little boy. That's not one. That's a different. Unless I don't know. I can't tell. It looks different to me. The face shape. I don't know, maybe it is. It's just puffed up. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's just puffed up. He's pissed off. Cute.
Those frogs are not cheap, but they are awesome. I like the white tree frogs. Yeah, they are adorable.
Every time I missed the white tree frogs at work, because of course we have them. I think most Petcos have them. They're a pretty standard reptile to carry. I'm just like, I wonder if like this has ever been a thought of like Craig or Mark to be like, I don't know how populous white tree frogs are in Australia because they are Australian white tree frogs. Just to be like, if they're more of a nuisance there, and there's like, people pay money for these. I'm sure they think about it about cockatoos too. Like, these go for thousands of dollars in the States. Like, people pay for these?
Oh yeah, like there's animal trafficking like all the time. That's well, not all the time anymore per se, but that's why we have like all the customs and stuff that we do because yeah, we don't want to have people just trafficking animals from Australia and all that stuff. We have
Well,
breeding projects breeding enough parakeets as it is. We don't need to import any from Australia.
yeah, so Joshua, I was actually talking about this before I left Petco. We were actually I did kind of shamelessly look to see if we could even order that species of frog. There's a little frog that pairs up with a tarantula. It's kind of like a pistol shrimp and a goby, how they pair
Yes.
up. Yeah,
So that is my favorite
like symbiotic.
example of mutualism
Yep.
because it's a specific type of symbiosis where they actually each help each other and benefit each other. So if the Colombian lesser black tarantula has the humming toad as its little like pet, and the toad will eat the like ants and stuff like that that would cause problems with the tarantula and like their eggs and all that. And the tarantula gives like defense against some of the larger stuff that would affect the little bitty toad. So yeah, they live together in their own little family, and that's one of the things that I've always wanted to set up a paludarium for a Colombian lesser black tarantula and the frogs and have the whole thing.
It's so
But
freaking cute.
man, that'd be expensive and all that, and yeah, it would be pretty cool. And this was
Melvin,
kind of
hello.
like a practice run as far as trying to build that style of paludarium with like an actual like stream and like a water basin. I would just need much more space to actually have a good enough water basin to where I can have like tadpoles and
Hmm.
hatching frogs and even maybe have a couple like little fish and stuff in there too because the Colombian lesser black tarantula also likes to hunt fish
Hmm.
every so often. Sometimes they'll catch fish right off the side of the stream. So I think
Joshua
that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, Joshua says, I told a lady in a group that has 2 dozen rose-breasted cockatoos visiting her yard every day that they go for $3,000 to $4,000 in the U.S. Yeah, yeah, that's funny.
Rose breasted cockatoos. Yeah.
But yeah, Mike says, I'm starting to think that paludariums are the way to go. They allow for more features and better enclosure ecosystems. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And
You have that total balance of food and water.
right, right. Whether you have like 75% water or like 75%, terrestrial or whatever, like, or like a 50-50 sort of thing, the paludariums are just, it's the coolest way to incorporate an entire ecosystem in a glass box.
I just realized, wasn't it Scotty last week who was asking about a saltwater paludarium and if that would be possible?
Maybe it wasn't last week, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, but I do remember. I think it
Her-
was Scotty the fish freak that was asking
hermit
about.
crabs.
Yes, fiddler crabs,
No, no,
hermit
no.
crabs.
Yeah, like land hermit crabs because they are supposed to have salt and fresh water.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yep, hermit
yeah,
crabs, fiddler crabs. Really, any sort of crab is supposed to have water, available or whatever. So, um, even like the micro crabs and stuff like that, technically they're supposed to have like a little bit of land or whatever to go on too.
hmm,
That's why you need to be careful with like your red claw crabs because they can climb right out of your tank. So
yep,
if you give them an area to actually climb to specifically, then they have less of a chance of actually like climbing out.
yes, it was Scotty. Yeah, so yeah, there are a lot of crabs that can do salt paludariums. So I wonder. So yeah, setting up a paludarium where you would have two different pools for like your standard hermit crabs,
Yeah.
one saltwater, one freshwater.
That would
Because they do
be
need both. They need
that
both.
would be interesting.
Yeah.
You could like have like a nice big tank and put
Hmm.
like a divider in the middle to where you have like sand on one side with salt water,
Yeah.
and then you have the another side with like the leca balls and some dirt and whatever else and fresh
Hmm.
water.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah. Right.
dude.
That would be so
You could
cool.
have like a jungle and a beach scene
Yeah.
in what like oh
Yeah. Ding inspiration.
Green Aqua needs to do that. Like
So, and then you could divide it with like rock work, so you can make like fake rocks even on the outside, so you don't see that divider. It just looks like
right.
a rockscape that's dividing the two pools.
Yep. Dude.
That'd
Yeah.
be so dope. Be
Yes.
like, this is how you set up for hermit crabs. The number one of the top neglected animals in the hobby, hermit crabs. This is the proper setup.
Yeah. Because man, it's so cool when you get into this stuff and you start deep diving on some of these different animals. Like when I was younger, I had no idea that like hamsters were like they lived like prairie dogs in
Yeah.
the wild, but like on their own. They don't have big families and stuff like prairie dogs do. They live isolated lives, but they make a little tunnel and burrow and they pop out and they, eat sprouts and whatever, and then they go back in. Like I I almost want a hamster now.
Yeah.
Just
They're
to
like
like
bulls, but can see.
make like a really cool enclosure just for like a hamster. Like, but like one of my nephews now has a hamster, and so I told my sister like do a deep dive on YouTube and look at the natural enclosures for a hamster. Like, I understand that right now he wants a wheel and a tube and all that stuff for his hamster, but if he looks at that stuff, you might really be interested in that. And I know you guys do the whole natural thing anyway. So, I mean, setting up a real, like, natural enclosure with springtails and all that stuff for a hamster, too,
Hmm.
like, that's really cool. If you
Yep.
guys haven't seen that stuff, YouTube it.
Or
Like,
even
there's,
not even the natural ones, but I've seen in like Asia, they'll just do like super deep like that paper the like the KT bedding that you buy at pet stores, only it's like super deep. I'm talking like 6 to 12 inches deep. Like so they can make tunnels and everything.
yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. You can still do it with like the paper and stuff. Yeah. But if you do it with like actual dirt, you
Yeah.
can you can even grow plants in there
Hmm.
that, you know, your hamster would actually eat.
Yep.
And you can bury seeds and other stuff and have your hamster go out and have to dig for the seeds and whatever else. And it's really cool. And maybe sometimes your hamster might fill up his mouth and go and accidentally like bury a seed or something like that. And then a couple days later you got another little plant popping up that you didn't even plant the seed, your hamster did, and eats the sprouts or whatever else. But
Yep.
you do still have to potentially grow some little sprouts and stuff outside of the enclosure because
Yeah.
the hamster does just kind of
I feel
eat them
like
pretty
I feel like we
quickly.
watched the same video because
We
yeah, I think
probably did.
I
There
think
was
she
like
said,
several different
"Yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
of like
Um
the little Russian dwarf hamster.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah,
I
because I
love
think she
that.
said that she kept like trays of like plant starters of those sprouts that she would like rotate between. And during the day, because they're nocturnal, they come out at night. During the day, she would be like replanting, rehiding treats and stuff. And so when they wake up at night, they have all
Yep,
this stuff to explore now. Like,
exactly. Yeah. And she would film some of the stuff at night of the
hmm.
hamster going on as well. Yeah, I feel like we watched the same videos.
Yeah, it's so cool though. Yeah, you don't want to keep hamsters together, even if they're in a large enclosure because they are territorial.
Yeah.
But Gina, Petco has 3 hamsters in the same. That's because they're still young. As soon as they
Yeah.
hit maturity, they want to GTFO away from each other.
And you guys know how many times we've had to pull those sorts of like hamsters and stuff into the back because they're fighting? One of
Or we
them
come
has
in
an
one
ear bleeding,
or
or
we
you
come in
come
one
in one
morning,
day and they're dead.
they're decapitated. Yeah.
I've never seen them decapitated fully, but I've seen them with half their face eaten.
Yeah. Their face ripped eaten off. Yeah. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
Mice do it too. Mice, they say, are communal, but same thing. You can't put too many of them in a small habitat.
But it's like, if you don't do that, then you might just sell out of all your hamsters in one day, and
And
then
then
you
people
have
are
a whole
mad.
nother week before you get any more hamsters.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I hate it, but it is what it is. It's the same thing with, we have, we have 20 angelfish in a teeny tiny, looking like a 10-gallon aquarium, but you can't go home and put these 20 angels in a 10-gallon aquarium because, one, these are babies, and yeah, two, that's just, we have a
It's a holding
much
tank.
bigger water volume and all that
Yeah.
other stuff, and we're just holding them for a short period of time until you take them home.
Yeah.
They're going to be home for years, hopefully, unless, you're not the best fish keeper. Or, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes
They get
fish
sick.
just die.
Yeah. Recently in my neighborhood, a homeless dude broke into a pet land and released a bunch of animals. They caught him a mile down the road with a hamster in his pocket. There is still one ferret on the loose. Oh my god.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. People do that stuff.
They
It's
do.
crazy. Steal animals and then try to sell them on the black market and stuff.
We just had a group of teenagers last weekend that were kept trying to buy a hamster. And we're like, no, you're not 18. And so they stood outside and were asking other customers to buy a hamster for them. We had to tell
Yeah.
them to leave. Like, no, we're not selling a hamster for you. In fact, now I'm not going to sell hamsters for the next 2 hours to anybody because of you guys. Like, no.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like, why do they want a hamster so bad?
Right. I don't know. Had a guy drop off an 8-foot monitor enclosure with 2 feet of substrate in it. No idea how he got it there. Someone put 20 hamsters in it while they were waiting to move it, and the next day it was a bloodbath. All but one died. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Huh.
Yep. And we know too, like whenever they start, especially like the teddy bear hamsters, when it's harder to tell with the dwarf hamsters because they don't grow as exponentially as like the full size teddy bear or the Syrian hamsters do. But yeah, when the Syrians start to get a certain size, that's when we know, oh, we need to start separating those. Those guys are getting a little large. We need to go ahead and separate them.
I feel like the dwarf hamsters in general aren't as aggressive. Like, I feel like if you were going to even try keeping hamsters together, you would do it with the dwarf hamsters. Like the teddy bear hamsters and the Syrians and the larger ones, those are just evil.
So the actual dwarf hamsters, like dwarf hamsters, sunfire dwarf hamsters, I don't get along with those. Every time I put my hand in a tank, they want to bite me. So I just don't trust them. The Chinese dwarf hamsters are, I think, a less aggressive, and I love robo hamsters. Robo hamsters are the
Yes.
only hamster that I
The
will stick
robo
my hand in.
hamsters, and then the little ones that are robos, but they're albino and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh, those are so cute.
Yeah, robos are the only ones that I will pick up barehanded because I have never been bit by a robo.
Those are the ones I'm talking about, that they are. Yeah, they're not territorial to siblings, but they are to strangers. And that's what I mean, is like, if you get them, and that's the big thing that's different too with, these like pet stores and stuff like that, is most of the time they're getting siblings that have
Mm-hmm.
been together since they were like born or hatched or whatever, depending if you talk about birds, reptiles, or mammals. But like, yeah, you can't just go buy, hamsters from various stores and put them together.
Yeah.
You know, same way you got to be careful just mixing all different sorts of birds and stuff together or whatever
Guinea
else.
pigs
Like,
too. Yeah, guinea pigs too. You should buy them together from the same place together.
yep,
But
because they bond too. Guinea
they do.
pigs bond hardcore.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, if you like separate them once they're like actually bonded, like they can get into like a deep depression
Mm-hmm.
and even like lose the will to live basically and like just die.
Because a coworker of mine, she now has 3 guinea pigs, and I think she has to house them all separately because they will start fighting if they're in the same cage together. But she has like this communal playpen. They all play together fine. They'll be in that playpen together and they're fine. But as soon as you put them in a cage together, oh nope. And they're all females too, which is really weird. Usually the females get along better than the males. Males tend to be more territorial. But yeah, she can't house them together.
Yeah.
They can play together fine. I told her just to give it time. Just that they might end up being able to stay together, but
never had trouble mixing guinea pigs or rabbits or a hit or miss. Yep.
yeah.
Rabbits are birds are too. Like my brother has rabbits and yeah, I think he still has one. But he's also like talked about how he can't just go get another rabbit because like you got to introduce them and all these different things and yeah it's just kind of a hit or a miss. And even my cockatiels, like I got them from somebody that said that they were already bonded and they are definitely bonded. Like if I take one out of the cage and like walk into another room, they're like screaming, like, "Hey, hey, hey, where are you at? Where'd you go? Like, come back!" Like
they're flock calling to each other.
Yep. So they definitely, I shouldn't like keep them fully separated, but there was a period of time that I had to like put them in 2 separate cages because they were like fighting too much. And I think it's because they are both males and they were like sexually frustrated and trying to take it out on each other and all that. And
Lady Rorschach, we have one at my work and he's the cutest. He's actually our friendliest guinea pig right now, a hairless guinea pig, and they're so freaking cute. You have to rub them with coconut oil every so often because they do get ashy. They get dry skin. But he's so cute. He loves his little nose scritches. And then the back of the head, like behind the ear scritches. Oh, he's so freaking cute.
And they just look like a little hippopotamus.
So they do end up getting hair like on the top of their nose and usually on like their legs. It's like that super curly Rex texture because that's how you get hairless rats and guinea pigs. You breed 2 Rexes, the curly haired. Yeah, they are a little bit more work. You can't let the rooms get cold because they don't have fur. They eat more and they do drink more water because they have to burn more calories to regulate their body temperature.
And I would recommend putting them on like some sort of like softer substrate too versus like when I had guinea pigs as a kid, sometimes we just put them on like straight up like wood chips and stuff. And it's fine when they got like the fur and kind of more protection on their skin, but the skinny pigs, yeah, their feet are still kind of calloused and protected, but the rest of their skin is, kind of sensitive like us. Like you wouldn't want to go rolling around in wood chips. So I wouldn't put a skinny pig in wood chips either.
Yeah.
But I love how they're called skinny pigs. And yeah, they look like little hippos.
They
and
do.
So that's why Petco sells them around Christmas time because everybody wants a hippopotamus for Christmas.
That's actually what I write. If we have a hairless guinea pig around Christmas time, I actually write that on their tank. I'll draw little music notes. Oh gosh, my Wi-Fi is being weird, which is really weird because I have an Ethernet cable running to my computer. I don't know why it's on Wi-Fi, but anyway, I'll write that on the tank. I'll draw little music notes and then I'll put, "Oh, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas." With little music notes around it,
Yeah.
and it's so cute.
But yeah, I've been thinking about several times about potentially getting another male parakeet. Especially every time I go into Pet Supplies Plus to get crickets or whatever, I'm always looking at all the animals, and I look at all the parakeets. Sometimes they get some really, really cool ones that, they even get some ones that are like solid yellow or solid white, and all these different cool things, and even have sails on them. But with Lapis being the way that she is, and not necessarily the most coordinated of birds, I would just really, really hate to get a male and just have him like end up being a jerk and
Yeah.
just end up just killing her. I would hate that.
I really want one to name it Rufus after the naked mole rat from Kim Possible. That makes me want to call the one at work Rufus now because see that fits. He seems
Yeah.
like a Rufus.
What? Yeah, the paper stuff.
Yep.
Or you can always do a natural environment too. A guinea pig is more or less just like a rabbit. So
Mike, no. If you go to Petco or maybe even Pet Supplies Plus, no, they won't look at you weird.
oh, not at all. Especially
Mm-mm.
because there's people that have tarantulas and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
So if you ask for specifically one cricket or whatever, like it's not
So
it's
yeah,
not
I actually
abnormal.
today I actually just had a guy ask for 6 medium crickets. And I go, I usually I don't sometimes people are in a rush. They're rushing after work, so I don't try to conversate too much to keep to tie them up. But I'll ask them like, "Oh, does it need to be strictly 6 or can there be like a few extra?" Because some people like their spiders are on a routine. If they have extra crates, they're just going to throw them outside. And I don't want, wasteful and all that stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah, and then they'll usually say, "Oh yeah, I have 6 tarantulas, so 6 crickets." I'm like, "Okay."
Yep.
But yeah,
And
no,
see,
one.
I personally I have my routine. Like when I was first just getting, I just had him. I was getting 15 small crickets,
Mhm.
and I whenever somebody says like 15, like you know, and a couple more is nothing. It happens or whatever. But you
I
want to
usually
when you're
I usually shoot.
counting.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're counting, you want to make sure you have at least 15. A
Yeah.
couple more is fine.
I try
Um,
to not do more than 5 extra.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but now that I have the tarantula and him, I just, for all simplicity's sake, I just get 20 small crickets now. And um, at first, when the tarantula was smaller, I was just doing one cricket. Now that it's molted one time and it's a little bit bigger, I kind of throw like 2 crickets in there once a week. And then the rest of the bag just gets dumped right in here. And the gecko eats whatever he wants. If there's 1 or 2 left that keep hopping around for a day or two until they die, it is what it is. Then the isopods and the springtails turn the cricket into fertilizer too. So it's a
Geek
circle
Boy
of
says
life.
dirt with a sand cap, of course,
Yeah.
for the substrate.
Let's
Duh.
swim straight for your guinea pig. Dirt with a sand cap. Exactly.
He says, "I'm gonna go buy a dozen crickets and let them loose in my sister's house." I actually had a customer who about once a month would come in and get a dozen large crickets, and she would actually let them loose in her bathroom for her cat to chase.
Wow.
Yeah. She would close her cat in the bathroom, let them loose, and then just let the cat have fun for like 2 hours. And then when
Gosh.
she said once the cat settled down, she would go back in, and yeah, it would have gotten like all the crickets. And then yeah, just for a
Uh,
little funsies.
yeah. I mean, that is the thing. And since I get small crickets, sometimes they're tiny enough to like just squeeze out of the side where the door is and stuff like that. So I've, sometimes seen Tundra going and getting the little small cricket or something like that.
I don't know anybody that likes crickets loose in a house because Lady Rorschach asked him. I trust she hates insects. The smell and noise would definitely be obnoxious. Yeah, so Geek, if you want them to make noise, they have to be large crickets. I mean, don't do that. That's mean. How dare you can't do that to your sister? Don't do that. Definitely don't release 5 or a dozen large crickets because only adults make noise into your
Have,
sister's house.
have you ever seen the freshly molted crickets?
Yes, how they're all white. People
Yeah,
always say, "Oh my gosh, it's an albino
it's an
cricket.
albino one.
It's an albino cricket." No, it just molted.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of one
Had a
on.
customer come in once a week and ask for 5 dead crickets. I wouldn't charge him if I picked them out or if he picked them out himself. He was feeding butterfly fish, 1 per fish a week. That's a good idea.
Here we go. Yeah, when it's freshly molted, it's like
Yeah,
white-ish.
white. Mhm. Wow,
See,
look, an albino cricket. That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I had to eventually find one that was like that half out of its molt to prove to somebody. I'm like, see, it's molting. Like it's shedding. Calm down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I may have done 1 or 2 things that would be labeled obnoxious to my sister once or twice. Well, yeah, duh. Leucistic. That's true, it didn't have red eyes.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's just what the goo looks like on the inside of the cricket. Its exoskeleton is still like pretty much clear because it hasn't hardened and gotten its color yet.
yep, that's why crabs go and hide after they molt. It's because they're squishy.
Yep. But man, they're sometimes with like the crabs and stuff, their colors are like super vibrant when they first molt.
Snakes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right after they molt, that nice, shiny, fresh, shiny scales.
Same with the tarantulas too. When they
Oh
freshly
yeah.
molt and all that, their hairs are like super shiny and metallic-y and oh yeah.
And done. Just put 2 juvenile. I'm not even going to attempt that in a breeding tank with mops. Perhaps eggs
Rivula
to collect.
strigatus.
Yeah. Perhaps eggs to collect tomorrow already. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I actually there was a mom and a daughter who were actually buying mice as pets. It was a couple weeks ago. So we were looking at the females because I told them females usually get along better as pets, keeping them together because they were only getting 2. And they were
And they
wanting
don't
different
smell
colors.
as much because they
Yeah,
don't like
they
put
don't have
out the musky
pheromones.
pheromones.
Yeah. So we're going. I was lifting up all the houses because they hide during the day. So yeah, I was lifting up all the houses, all the wheels, so they could see them all. And I actually pointed out, I was like, so there is actually a white leucistic one. There's a white one with black eyes, which you don't see too often with these feeder mice. Do you want that one? She's like, no, I still just don't want a white one. I want one with color. I'm like, oh, I understand, but just know, if you change your mind, try to come back and hopefully we have it because that is not very common with the feeder mice to have white with black
Right.
eyes.
Right. And that's actually a better one to have too, because a lot of the times the animals that are true albino often don't have great eyesight either, because you have to have a certain amount of melanin in your eye for like your cones and stuff to even
Right.
work. And so, yeah,
Mike, no. Big pet stores have like one breeding facility or one vendor for like a region. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
so
Big pet stores do not buy from local people. They
no.
will sometimes they will accept animals as like rescues,
Yeah.
um, and like find somebody close to like quickly adopt it or something like that, but they won't give you any money, um, or store credit or anything like that.
Yeah.
You
It's gonna
have to
be a
go to
relinquish.
a
Yep.
mom and pop type of shop to get any sort of like compensation for breeding an animal.
Yeah. So say like here in the Midwest, we probably have different vendors than East or West Coast. Not fish though. The fish are shipped out overnight across the whole country. I'm pretty sure all Petcos get their fish from the same distributor.
Yeah. Like Pet Supplies Plus, we would get our stuff from 5D
Yep.
Tropicals, which I
Mhm.
believe is like actually all the way down in Florida. And
I
we'd
think most
also
of them
get
are in
stuff
Florida.
from A Pet as well, which I think
Yep.
might be down in Florida. And that was pretty much the two places that
Um
we would get all of our
Apex
animals from. And then
Apex
we would
actually
sometimes get stuff from Bug Co, where we would get like our crickets and things like that.
um Apet's in Chicago.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because
Apex and
we would order from Apet at Marine Solutions and they actually delivered to us.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But there are some really, really cool local places that, depending on, which one you go to and stuff, you might find some really cool situation going on. Explore your local area, but there's a place that I haven't been to in a while, and I need to take another trip out there because every time I go, it's just like it looks like a whole brand new store with more expansion, and it just gets more and more awesome every time. But it's a place here in St. Louis called Tropical World Pets, and the they actually have a bearded dragon breeding project in the store where they have like all the adult breeding bearded dragons in one big enclosure with like heat lamps and stuff like right next to the window and all that. It's pretty cool. And I know one of the people that works there also breeds the crested geckos and the leopard geckos for the store. And they also, like a lot of the different workers and stuff, set up all these cool enclosures and things for the animals as well. And sometimes with like the tarantulas and the frogs and stuff like that, they'll actually sell the full bioactive enclosure with the
Mhm.
animal, or you can just buy the animal if you want to set up your own enclosure as well. But I just think it's really cool that they do all that. But yeah, it's just like the employees also produce animals for the store and stuff like that. And so, like, it, I don't know how it works as far as like money, like if the employee gets any sort of, you
Like
know, uh,
commission or something.
commission off the animals, or if they're just able to sell the animals for a cheaper price because it is one of the employees that does it and loves it and gets paid by the store to do it. You know, I don't know. I never asked about that, but it's just really cool that those sorts of places do exist. And if you're really die hard about the hobby and you love doing it, you can find the right sort of job out there for you. It might not necessarily pay you the most money, but you're not doing it because of the money. You're doing it because you love
Yeah.
doing it. So
Have a good night, Lady Rorschach. But yeah, no, Josh makes a good point that I kind of overlooked. So I think Petco work or big box stores work with distributors, not necessarily breeders. So it's the distributors who reach out to the different breeders and then they sort the animals out. So, yeah. It wouldn't be Petco that a breeder would contact, it would be the distributors.
Yeah. Because I know, like, Bob with 5D, they also do a lot of, like, wild caught stuff or whatever. And so, like, this is the batch of stuff that we got in. And, sometimes fish will come in mislabeled because of that. Or, one fish might look very similar to all those and come in with the shipment and is all labeled as that. So yeah, sometimes you can actually find a super rare fish at a super cheap price because it came in like labeled as a something incorrectly. But there's also sometimes it's the other way around where, like, I know one time when I was working at Pet Supplies Plus, we ordered the electric blue rams, which are like they're like $30 each or something like that. But what we got sent was the electric blue Akara, which are only like $13 each. And so, we had to, do the whole like return and stuff to get like our money back on it. If it would have been the other way around, we would have just been like, oh, we ordered the Akara, but we got the Rams. Well, these are a much more expensive fish, so we're not going to say anything.
Yep. Yeah. And then I love it whenever it's a bag of invisible cardinal tetras. It's just a bag of water.
Oh, yeah.
That's always fun. Or the glass cardinal tetras.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's cool. Somebody forgot something.
Yep. Well, we got just like a few minutes left.
Yeah.
So, like, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I know a few of you have started kind of leaving already and all that. Good night to Lady R. But a lot of you guys were hanging out for a good long while, so I appreciate that for sure. Eventually this guy's gonna go outside too. I gotta kind of figure out how I want to incorporate him into all my decorations and
The
stuff.
skeleton,
outside.
not the lizard.
Yeah, the skeleton guy. This dude.
Did I remember you saying last week that you had something that's coming up Saturday? Or am I misremembering that?
Nope.
Okay, maybe I'm just.
But I do have a Guar concert on Tuesday that I'm going to.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, and my brain.
And I had my family reunion last Sunday.
Okay.
Which would have been the next day after the live stream, so I would have been talking about how it was coming up. So
I'm just a silly goose then.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just a silly.
I was also gonna have a game night on the 7th, but that one got canceled. But she's gonna host some sort of game night in October and have like a Halloween themed one. So
those are
that should be fun.
We used to love having game nights on Halloween night because you could still you just pause and pass out candy.
Yeah.
And we also just don't have that many trick-or-treaters anymore, so the games aren't interrupted as much as they used to be.
But something I forgot to mention earlier that I found at Johnny Brock's when I was exploring around, I found a cool cape to go with my Viking costume.
Nice.
So I expanded off of that. They had so many cool plastic weapons and stuff like that of all different types, whether you wanted to be a pirate or a Roman soldier or a Viking or a Grim Reaper sort of thing. They even had these cool steampunky weapons and stuff that gosh, they were just so cool looking.
And I guess they have to. I wonder if they sell a lot for the Renaissance Fair because you can't have real weapons.
They do. They definitely do because they have they had a whole section of stuff for like Renaissance era things and all that too.
That's because Ren Fair
And
is starting this weekend.
yep,
I think today. Today was the first day. This
today,
weekend.
yep, this weekend is the Scottish Highland Fling celebration. So it's all Scottish stuff this weekend. And I don't know what it is next weekend and all that, but that's just the commercials that I've been hearing was that's the Highland Fling.
I love the Ren Fair.
I do
I'm off
too.
next. I think I'm off on. Am I off on a Saturday coming up? I might be able to go to the Renaissance Fair. Oh, I think I can. Nathan, we're going to Ren Fair.
But yeah, I didn't need to buy a plastic axe because I have a real battle axe. So
Yeah.
yes, so I'm just gonna keep expanding off of my Viking costume. I need to buy pants next.
Pants.
Need to find the right sort of like Renaissance era pants.
Yeah, that's true, Joshua. So like my little dagger that I bring for my Ren Fair outfit, I usually zip tie it in the sheath, and they'll allow that.
Yeah, that's how I bought my battle axe. Actually, I bought it at the Ren Fair. Then they put the like the leather sheaths on either side and zip tied it so that I was able to carry it around because they actually like in the things where they're like no weapons allowed at the Renaissance Fair. But it's just like I know that like at first I was just like no weapons, but it's like how are you supposed to do anything? It's like, oh, but they're not talking about plastic stuff. They're talking about actual, like, legitimate, like, don't be bringing a samurai sword to the Renaissance Fair
Right.
because we don't want you, like, hurting people.
Some areas get crowded. Like, you could accidentally hurt somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And that battle axe, like, I bought it and it was already sharp as hell. So I could have done some serious hacking and slashing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Cool.
We'll catch you guys next week on another episode of Fish and Friends.
Yeah. I see you guys later. Bye.
You guys have a good one. So long. Thanks for the fish.
It's time for bed.